Hello and welcome to the second ever review, well, movie review that is, on GoodBadEh. This morning, Friday morning, I took a ride with Kyler to go see Captain Marvel. Now, going into that movie, I knew it was going to be a good movie. All Marvel movies are technically good. Like, no Marvel movie is less than a 7 or a 6 unless you look at, like, the Thor movies, minus Ragnarok, of course. Or maybe Iron Man 2. That one wasn't that good either. But I was excited for Captain Marvel because it was an origin story, and I felt like it was going to be a little different than the Iron Man story, the Spider-Man one that we've been told so many times at this point. It was going to be something fresh. And that's exactly what we got. This is how it's going to go. First, I'm going to talk about the story, then the acting in the movie, the soundtrack, my emotions during the movie, and then why I see it again. Because as someone who's seen Mary Poppins Returns 4 times, and a member of the AMC A-List, I'm into seeing movies more than once if it's really good. Once I finish those, then I'll go into a little spoiler territory, Jesus. And at that point, if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't stop listening at that point. Alright, so the story. Like I said, it's an origin story, but it's different. It's not like... It's like the Wonder Woman one, where like from the beginning, we watch her grow up. This one was smart, and it had like little flashbacks here and there, showing how she would overcome situations and what made her who she is. The main part of the story was Carol Danvers finding out who she is and where she's from. For her whole entire life, she thought she was, I believe it was a Kree. I believe that was yes, it was a Kree. She thought she was a member of them. But something went wrong and she landed on Earth. And she thought, oh, it's like a strange planet. But as she spent more time on Earth and meeting the other characters that were introduced into the movie, she found out that she had a life here. And slowly over the course of the movie, she would find out what her life was, who was in that life, and sort of piece everything together and realize who she really is at the end of the movie, and who her real friends are, which is very important in a movie like this. I'm just going to say this right now. The twists, plural, in this movie are fantastic. It's not like that kind of twist, but more of I did not see that coming, because I did not see any of this coming, and it was fresh, it was brand new, I loved it. You have to see this movie. Anyway, the acting, I'm just going to say this, Brie Larson killed it. Like, easily one of my most favorite performances in a Marvel movie I've seen ever. She was fantastic as Captain Marvel, who it's like kind of like the Superman movie, no one says Captain Marvel, but she goes by Carol Danvers, Veers, and that's about it. She was fantastic. She was funny, she was witty, like I felt for her when things weren't going right. She was smart. Like she didn't act like a superhero. She acted like a normal person, and you don't see that often in comic book movies, because they all have superpowers. But even though she's the most powerful person in the Marvel universe, you could relate to her. Not the superpowers part, but everything else. She was fantastic in it. Like Oscar worthy. She already has one, but it was not enough kind words to say about her performance in Captain Marvel. That was Brie Larson. Sam Jackson plays Nick Fury, obviously. He was in the majority of the movie. They used technology to make him look younger. He was fantastic as well. It wasn't the serious, one-toned Nick Fury that we've seen in every movie so far. We saw that he has a character. Like, he can joke around, he can have fun, And that was like I said, it was a fresh take on the character. Still the same guy that you see in Iron Man and in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. It was just fun to see him not serious, and it was fantastic. Let's see who else is in this movie. Ronan the Accuser was in the movie. He was in it for a little bit. But again, I think they definitely used the aging technology on him because he looked young as shit. Annette Bening played Wendy Lawson, who was Carol Danvers' mentor, and that plays into a big part of the story towards the end. I'm not going to say anything. Phil Coulson, played by Clark Gregg, was in the movie a little bit. He played, once again, aging technology, make him look way younger. He was not in it that much. I wouldn't say he impacted the movie a lot, because he didn't, but he was so good. And Jude Law was I'm not going to say what character he is, but he was, I wouldn't say his acting was fantastic, because I don't think I've seen any of his other work. But his character is ginormous toward the plot of the movie. He acted as Captain Marvel's mentor for a little bit. The person she would always battle with, she would go to with questions, her nightmares in the beginning of the movie. It was just a great cast all around. Like I said, Brie Larson was fantastic. Just so damn good. Another very good thing about this movie was the soundtrack. Like, I know you probably think, oh, Guardians had the best soundtrack. Guardians 2, good soundtrack. Thor Ragnarok, good soundtrack. If you want to watch a battle between Captain Marvel using her fire fist, killing, like, all the bad guys, to I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt, you didn't know you needed that until now. It was amazing, the soundtrack. Of course, it was all 90s music because it takes place in the 90s. But the soundtrack was fantastic. It just breathed like life into this film, even more life than I already had. And I like the direction Marvel movies have been taking since Guardians, like a little risky now that they know they can do crazy shit and get away with it. But, the soundtrack was fantastic. Another thing that I loved about the movie, it was really funny. Not like Guardians funny, but like I laughed out loud a lot. The little chuckles to yourself that you'll do happen all the time. The chemistry between Brie Larson and Sam Jackson was just like they were just two friends. Like, Sam Jackson's like serious tone. Not as serious as he is now, but he was still a little bit serious. And then Brie Larson's just witty, sarcastic, smartass, like back and forth that she would do was just amazing. I would watch a buddy road trip if it was just them two. Like, give me Due Date, but with them two, and I'll watch it a million times. Because them back and forth were just hilarious. And I can't say enough good things about this movie. The big question, will I see it again? Like I said, Mary Poppins Returns, saw it 4 times. Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph Breaks the Internet, saw it like 2 or 3 times. I love seeing movies again and again because I want to give them my money. I want to enjoy that again because I don't want to see a movie opening day and then have to wait 6 months to see it again on DVD or Blu-ray or 4K. But I will definitely be seeing Captain Marvel again because it was just a fun movie, and another thing I have on my list is it didn't really impact the other movies. Like, yeah, you know that she's the savior of Endgame, coming out in end of April, but not many Avengers secrets thrown in there. No Easter eggs from the other movies, besides the communicator that Fury used at the end of Infinity War to call her in the first place. You can easily watch this movie without seeing any other of the Marvel movies, and you'll be totally okay. And you can't say that about a lot of Marvel movies now, because everything has, it's Infinity Stone. I have to watch these other 5 movies to understand what an Infinity Stone is. You can watch this without seeing any of the other 45 fucking Marvel movies there are. And it's just, oh god. It's so damn good. Alright, this is spoiler territory now. Spoiler territory. If you haven't seen it, stop what you're doing and go see it now. If you have seen it, keep listening. Wow. The amount of turns that this movie took. I did not see any of them coming. Like, I thought Jude Law was a good guy the whole entire time. And then when Nick Fury kills the... Was it the Krill? I believe that's what they're called. Is that? Whatever. Whenever they kill the bad aliens at first, and they start the autopsy on the alien, and then you see that the guy, not the autopsy person, but like the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. like looking at it, and then you see that he turns alien. I'm like, shit. Like they infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. again. And then towards the end of the movie, you see that they're actually the good guys. They want to protect and keep going with what... what's her face? What's her name? Where is it? Lawson. Yeah, Wendy Lawson's work. They want to keep continuing it because it would save their species. It was... And then they find out that she wanted to use it for bad and to... I'm pretty sure to end that species. It was like, I did not see it coming. It was so good to see. It kept me on, I was on like the edge of my seat trying to figure it out. But it was still like, it was a good turn. And then having Jude Law die, he didn't die, but having Jude Law come back at the end after a nice little battle. And like, oh, I knew you could do it. I knew it. And I'm like, don't fucking fall for it. Don't fall for it. You know, he's bad now. Don't give in. And just fucking shoots him into the fucking rocks and sends him on his way. Fantastic. And then finally knowing how Nick Fury got his eye patch. Come on, man. A cat? Can we talk about Goose for a second? Goose killed it. I feel like at some points it was like CGI. But Goose was fantastic. Like, just seeing... You would never in a million years picture Samuel L. Jackson playing with a cat. And just like going up and doing a little pet voice that you do to your pets to make them know you love them. Loved it. It was small little moments flashed throughout the film. That was just so worth it. And having the cat freaking take down a bunch of the bad guys in the final sequence. Goose is a badass. He was fantastic. Not worth it waiting for the very, very last post-credit scene of him just like throwing up the Tesseract. I thought it'd be funnier if he just did like a hairball, because Marvel knows they're trolling us. Well, the Spider-Man last post-credit scene was just Captain America talking about patience. Like, they know. They like fucking with us all the time. And they could have easily done that with Goose, just like throwing up a hairball or whatnot. The other post-credit scene. Alright. Like, we knew she was going to show up. It's cool that they got their hands on the communicator. Alright. Didn't make me more excited for Endgame. I'm already excited as shit for it. But, you know. I'm very excited for Endgame. That didn't do anything for me. I hope that's not a scene from the film. I want her to have I want Carol Danvers to have a more like big like entrance to them, you know? Not just like roll into the Avengers headquarters like, sup guys, where is he? I feel like she deserves a little bit more after watching this movie. Other than that, on the way home, I was trying to think of what I didn't like about the movie. And the only thing I can say that I didn't like is that during the film there were sequences where they were in like fighter jets and they were like flying through the skies battling each other. They were beautifully shot, and they were just probably one of my favorite parts of the movies. The only thing I didn't like is that there were only two of them. I wish they just drone in more, because they were just so cool to watch, and it was just a beautiful sequence that I fell in love with. That's the only thing I would change about this movie, is that they included more of them. But that's about it. That's all I got. This movie is easily like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. And it's rare to find a good superhero movie like that nowadays. Not many things I can think of that would change. I'm definitely going to see it again. Captain Marvel is definitely getting a good in my book. If this is great, bad, I'd give it a great, because it deserves that. Let's start with the previews for a second. What do we got? We got Dumbo. Looks beautiful. Can't wait to see that. I'm a big Disney fan. There'll definitely be a review for that. What else do we got? We got Spider-Man Far From Home. Once again, obviously going to see it. I forgot half of the fucking trailers. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Trailers are fun, but you'll see it. Other than that, thanks for listening. And this is a newer format I'm going to try for these movies. For these movies reviews, because I'm just wanting to change it up a little bit. Thank you for listening. If you like this movie podcast / review, whatever I want to call it, like it, subscribe to the channel, share it, comment, all that stuff. Make sure to follow GBE on Instagram and Twitter for my thoughts on other stuff, for channel announcements, Today in Gaming History. I might do more Today in Movie History, whatever I want to feel like. And that's about it. Definitely go check this movie out. It's worth your money. Even if it's a matinee or seeing I saw it in IMAX. Looked beautiful. I always see Marvel movies in IMAX because they take advantage of it. Definitely check out this movie in any way you can. Go with friends, because it's just a fun movie that you can see over and over again. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.